Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. Today is the day we are getting the chickens out. We have a lot of people ask what kind of chicken tractors we are using. And these are just 10 by 20 carports. I'm showing you this one. Obviously it doesn't have the tarps on it, so you can kind of see the bones about it. So it's just a 10 by 20 carport. We've got them at walmart.com and a few other places. They're about 150 bucks, or they were. We just took the metal frame, built a wooden frame around it, and we put hardware cloth on the bottom, chicken wire from the 1x up to the first post, and then we just tarp over top, and I'll show you the other ones, how we put the tarps on, how we installed them. We've got 2 feeders hanging inside, and then I'll show you the extra feeders we have for as they get bigger, so that way there's not much competition overeating. So we'll show you the other ones. Uncle Ken and I got those put together yesterday. Today, our low tonight is in the 50s, and I think we're finally past the cold weather. So Brooklyn and I are heading to get the chickens and finally get them out on pasture. Let's go grab them. All right, if you guys remember from previous videos, the chickens are just over 4 weeks old. We kept them in here because it was getting colder. They have not had their evening dinner yet, so they are going to be a little excited to get out of here. We're going to put them in totes. We've got the white tote there. We've got our blue tote that's seen better days, but it will still hold some chickens. We need to find a better way to get them all out at once, but for now, this is what we have, so that's what we're using. So we'll get the chickens out. We got feeders and waters in the big chicken tractors. We'll show you that in just a minute. We've got about 130 that are going out, 60 some in here, and then the other 60 over here. So we're gonna make a couple trips, get them out on the grass. That one took the feeder right over. And they'll be on pasture until processing day. So let's start loading them up and head over to the tractors. All right, guys, the brooder is one of the worst parts of chickens, especially when they get to this age, but it is definitely a necessary part. You can see these shavings are only 4 days old, and they have covered them, but that's also good. Once we get them out on pasture, we're going to be getting a lot of manure in each spot, but we'll be moving them daily, twice a day, so it will not build up like this, but it will fertilize our pastures, and they're getting off of their manure now. So the brooder is the grossest part, but it's also a necessary part. All right, guys, we've got them all out of the brooder barn now. Like I said, the brooder is part of it. You know, it's a messy part, but it's part of it. These guys cannot be out in the cold elements before they're feathered out. And like I said, they're just over 4 weeks old. And this is what we love about it. This site right here, out on fresh grass. They're out fertilizing our pastures, getting bugs, getting weeds, anything they want out here. And this is how they should be raised. So happy to have them out. We've got 120, what did we say, Brooke? 125?
I don't know.
We think it's 125. We lost 5, we had 131, so 126. We've got 126. So now that we're inside, we'll show how these are hooked up inside. The top tarp is just hooked up with these bungees that come with the package. These bottom brown tarps that we put all the way around, we just fold them over and we use zip ties to hook them in here. and that works out very well. We've got 3 of them going around the 3 sides. The front is open. Once it's nice and warm, which will be pretty soon with these ones because they're fully feathered, we'll take off the back and we can get a nice cross breeze. We can also take off the sides if we want to. So anyway, this is our favorite part here. The chickens are going to town, as you see. Once tomorrow hits, we'll fill up these other trough feeders that we've made. This is just a piece of Schedule 40 or any pipe that you want to use, cut in half, and we just built the stands for it. Just gives them less competition at the feeder. They're not stressed out because some of them can't get to the feeder. So anyway, you can see we've got a few gaps underneath here. Obviously this isn't going to sit flat on the yard. Part of the nice part is the tarp hangs down as a visual barrier. We've never had issues with anything trying to crawl under. Sometimes when we have a big gap like this, I would normally just pull it to where it is flat. We've got cal out here to keep predators away. And so we've never had an issue with things trying to get underneath. As we start to bring them out in the summer and they're a lot smaller, I would have to move a gap like that, move it farther until it sat flat so the littler birds can't get out. But these guys are big enough, that is not an issue. But man, I'm gonna say it a lot this year, but that is a beautiful, beautiful sight right there, out of the brooder and onto the pasture. We'll go check out this last group and see how they're doing. So what's gonna happen here is we started them right here and we'll just pull them down and we used to go straight up and down, but turning it around and coming back was hard. And so now we just do like a big track. We'll just do big circles around and make sure that we don't head back to a spot that we've been to that has manure on it. So anyway, here is the second pen. The reason we have the roosting bar in here, we used this for egg layers last year. They obviously won't need that. We've had that question, what do these birds roost on? These birds are too heavy to get up and roost, so they do not need a roosting bar. We've also switched to the pan feeders for waterers. We like this. They can get down and immerse their whole beak down in that water and get as much as they need when they're outside in the warmth. So it's not going to be too hot for these birds. 70s, 50s at night. It's going to be perfect, and you can see it already looks perfect. So birds are eating their evening dinners. Normally, they might not eat all this evening because it's a little later than normal just for us getting them out here. But normally these feeders will be empty. We don't like to keep feed out all night. We'll make sure the feed's out. If they are full, we just hang these feeders up with wires, and we can adjust and move that feeder higher or lower as these birds grow. So anyway, we're gonna come back tomorrow morning. We're gonna show you the feeding routine. We think we're supposed to get some rain, which is not gonna affect these birds because we've got the tarps obviously. But we'll come out tomorrow morning and check how we start to move these birds up and down the pasture. Good morning, guys. Chickens have spent their first night outside and we are out getting ready to move them. Looks like everyone is doing fantastic. They have laid down a good layer of fertilizer for us, and now it is time to move on. So the move the first time is a little bit different because they are not used to moving, so they kind of all huddle towards the back, so we have to take our time. But as we get going, they're used to moving, and these moves are super easy. I did forget one thing. Last night I was lying in bed, and it started getting windy out, and I had forgotten to stake these down. So we have a hole in the front corner here, and we just have a stake to hold it down, and then we just do the opposite back corner, and that is enough. That holds these down. They are heavy, but the wind with these tarps on it, it can pick them up and blow them. Ask me how I know. We have lost a couple chickens that way. So I did get up last night and stake these down to keep them secure. So didn't really get that windy, but better safe than sorry, right? So anyway, we're gonna get these birds moved, show you how the move goes. And like I said, the first one's a little more tough, but every move is easier from here on out once they get used to it. So set this down, get these birds moved and fed, and see how everything works out. All right, guys, we've got them secured down. You can see their last spot, all the great fertilizer they have put down for us. Hope you guys are dry. I'm getting quite wet. But anyway, these guys are gonna be heading down the yard, fertilizing as they go. Even though it's raining, it's a much better day out here than it is in the brooders. So all the birds are dry, they're doing just fine. They moved a lot better than I thought they would for the first time getting moved. I never talked about this back here. This is just our piece of conduit that we use as a broiler bumper, just to make sure it bumps them forward instead of us hitting them with the back of this as we move. But they hardly needed this, and they are doing just fine. So not the most beautiful day to be out on pasture, but like I said, any day outside is better than the day in the brooders. So get these guys shut up. Yes, I know these aren't the best locks. Like I've said, we've never had any animals. We've got this guy here to help with any predators. But second batch over here, we've only got just over 60 in each. These could house more. But we don't want to keep them packed in here. I guess that's kind of the risk you run as you build something bigger, that you just want to pack more and more in. But we still want them to have plenty of space to move and not be overcrowded. So anyway, first night a success. First move outside a success. These guys are just over 4 weeks, and in another, I guess just less than 4 weeks, they will be processed and heading to people's homes to feed them. So quite an amazing thing if you think about it. We love these birds. We'll talk more about the Cornish Cross as the season goes on. I know some people don't like Cornish Cross to raise for meat, but we'll talk about some of the reasons that we do love them for raising them for meat. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you're having a great week, and we'll catch you on the next video.